Hi, how you doing? Hello, welcome to Exploring Mora. I am Justin David Moore. You know, there's an old misconception that Manhattan is New York City. And you know what? There's an old misconception that Boston is New England. Well, I'm here to show you that it is not. I'm here in Northampton, Massachusetts right now, an intellectual hub, home of Smith College. I'm going to take a trip around all of New England. We're going to Burlington, Vermont. We're going to Portland, Maine. We're going to Concord, New Hampshire. And eventually, yes, we will make it to Boston. But before then, this, ladies and gentlemen, is New England. Alright, well, first stop on the road trip is Northampton, Massachusetts. Cool, small little college area in the western part of the state. Not really much going on there. I ate some halal at some point. Had a good time. Not too bad. Northampton. Microbreweries. They pepper all over New England. Why? Well, there's just something craft and artisanal about in-house brewing of your own beer. Whether you want to do an Indian Pale Ale, a lager, you're doing your own fermentation, you're finding your own yeast, and you're coming up with your own taste and your own brand. And it's a great thing to do because, you know what? You don't have to cater to any corporate needs whatsoever. This is Northampton Brewery Fine Food and Ales. Let's go inside, try one of their beers. And so here we are at the Northampton Brewery and Ale House. Here is the namesake Northampton American Pale Ale. It's an ABV of 5.8, which means it's got a good kick to it, and it's coppery color and it's got a sweet finish. At least that's what the menu says. I mean, I agree. Cheers. So we've made our way to Montague, Massachusetts, and we made a stop at Bookmill, an old sawmill that was converted into a bookshop, cafe, live performance area, and it's kind of an oasis of weird things that you can find. Well, for one, I found a book on, it's called The Magnificent Catastrophe. It's a book on the 1800 election, which is right up my alley, and a 1998 print of Paradise Lost. It's about California's impending doom, which is once again up my alley. We would go inside the film, but you know what? Everybody hates when I'm loud. So, we're not going to do it. But this is Bookmill. Great place to be. And after Northampton, Massachusetts, I made my way all the way north up Highway 91 into this one of two vertical states, Vermont, and all the way up to Burlington, Vermont. A nice little liberal bastion of weirdness, off-kilterness, oddities, whatever you want to say. That probably sounds better than what I'm saying now. The hardest part about being in Burlington, Vermont was that I couldn't make my way across Lake Champlain to Montreal. And anyone who saw some of the last few episodes of Exploring Mora knows Montreal's pretty dope. You know, when New England was founded, it was a moralistic society where the church was the law of the land and every community functioned as its own self-governing republic. Now, you know, Vermont specifically, and most of New England, is a land of microbreweries and hippies who make ice cream. This is Burlington, Vermont, and this is the Ben & Jerry's factory. Well, that was the tour. I love to film anything. Pretty good company, I guess. Pay their employees well, fair trade, sustainable. Really forward-thinking company in a forward-thinking state. I'm gonna get the runs after this. So, Vermont is, as I said before, filled with microbreweries. There's a new one popping up everywhere. It's almost like the old gold rush for oil. A new well sprouting up, a new microbrewery popping up. And the most successful one, at least in my view, and the one that I've enjoyed the most, would be the Magic Hat Brewery. I'm here at the actual brewery. This is the headquarters of, you know, their beer empire. And it's kind of hard to tell if it's an art gallery or if it's a brewery, but I'm happy I'm here. They make beer here. This is a weird brewery, man. This is strange. Some weird stuff going on here. I feel like I'm in a fun house or something like that. Like at some point some like monster is gonna jump out maybe or something like that. I don't know. Whoa, lights changing, bro. I'm feeling weird. I've got that waviness going. Keep Burlington weird, bro. Know what I'm saying? Whoa. So, at the end of the tour, one of the great things is that you get to go to a tasting part of it. So, what I have here is the Green Machine Indian Pale Lager. And some of you guys are wondering what the IP in IPA stands for, and that is Indian Pale. Now, why they call it Indian Pale is, well, when the English were sailing to India, they added more hops to preserve the beer. Thus you have, on their way to India, of course, thus you have India Pale Ale. Let's try it. Delicious. I love it. Cheers. Alright, so I'm still here in Burlington, Vermont, and I've been hearing tons and tons about a coffee beer, which, dude, I made the mistake of ordering. Could I have a coffee beer, please? Which is wrong. It was an oatmeal stout with 2 shots of espresso in it, and here it is, here at Radio Bean. It's almost like a deconstructed Four Loko, man. I hate the word deconstructed. I hate when anything is deconstructed. Here we go. Oh, that's warm and wiring. Cheers. So, this is Earth Clock here in Burlington, Vermont, on the western part of Vermont. You got Lake Champlain. You can see on the other side is Canada. This is Earth Clock. It was erected to be, I guess, supposedly a American Stonehenge. You stand in the center of it. You can line up with the solstices and the sun, and you can find inner peace and things like that. They say keep Vermont weird. Well, this is doing it. You know, wherever you go, from Portland to Brooklyn to Austin, it is, you know, they say keep it weird. That's the same case with Burlington. Keep Burlington weird. Right behind me is the world's tallest filing cabinet. There's no real rhyme or reason behind as to why it's there, aside from it being erected in 2002 as an art piece, but it was just left to rust. Yeah, keep Burlington weird. And, well, here's Maine. Look at how weird it is. We made our way to the almost southern part of it, down in Portland, which is a really cool area. I mean, Portland today seems more like Brooklyn than anywhere else in the Northeast. They have 4 Michelin star restaurants, which is, I guess, by any feet, if anyone cares, it's pretty impressive. They've got interesting things that they do with food all the time, which is cool. Yeah, encompasses that entire New England sphere. And, you know, Maine gets a real bad rap when it comes to being a New England state because, well, it wasn't one of the original 13 colonies. People think it's sort of more of Canada, more of New Brunswick, more of Nova Scotia area. If Staten Island feels like it's more part of Jersey, and certainly Maine feels like it's more part of the Yukon. I don't think I'm right on that. But Maine was pretty dope. And we made it to Portland, Maine on the East Coast, and we're here at the Holy Donut. Every donut here is made out of fresh Maine potatoes, not potato flour, but potato mash. There was a time in my life when I lived on potatoes. It was an interesting time, called the potato diet years. And this is a potato donut with maple bacon on it, and look at that thing. That is just beauty on a ring right there. I would never know if I'm eating potato or not. Tastes like a regular donut. It's delicious. Yum. Another weird thing about Maine is that whenever they say, you know, if you're coming from Massachusetts to go to Maine, they say we're going down east, which obviously does not make sense. You're not going down, and you are going east, but down east just doesn't make sense. Alright, so still here in Portland, Maine, out of Eventide Oyster Company. You know, a couple months ago I made the huge mistake of ordering a lobster roll with mayo. I was in Dumbo, Brooklyn, New York. And I had no clue. Oh, thank you. Okay, thank you. I had no clue what I was getting into. I put it in my mouth, it was cold, I couldn't stomach it, I nearly threw up. I've been having PTSD with regard to mayo and lobster since. But everyone's told me, get a hot buttered lobster. So we came here, and here it is. And let's try it. It was Everyone deserves a second chance, I guess. This looks good. It looks spicy. Just put it in my mouth, as they say. Very good. Got a tough chew to it. I don't know if it's considered cartilage or bone or skin, but delicious. Lobsters, once again, I'm team hot. I'm team butter. I'm team lobster. Team Mora. Delicious. Still here in Freeport, Maine, and as you can see, we found the desert of Maine, and it's an anomaly. It's a naturally occurring phenomena of Maine that this desert exists in this, part of the United States. It is a coastal area, but I mean, where did this desert come from? Well, some explanations would say that a glacier receded and took away all the moisture in the land beneath it, and the dunes sort of act as barrier to prevent it from spreading even more. It's hot out here, man. This is like the Death Valley of Maine. And as we made our way back from Maine, we went south into Concord, New Hampshire. What's stupid about this map is that it doesn't even look like it's important enough to have Maine, even though Maine probably seems like the coolest area out of all of this area now. I didn't make the map. Anyway, we went to Concord. Cool little libertarian area. In fact, all of New Hampshire, another one of those vertical states. Cool little libertarian area. Everyone seems more Republican or independent than Democrat in this whole, liberal sea. This is a little island of possible republicanism. Yeah. Everyone owns a gun. Everyone wants to not wear a helmet. Apparently, I say that a lot. New Hampshire. And welcome to Concord, New Hampshire. A libertarian-minded state in New England. The whole ideal of independent liberties of live free or die has been strong here for a long time. You can drive without a seatbelt, you can not wear a helmet on a motorcycle, you can do whatever you want because, the only obvious choice is either living free or dying, and nobody wants to do that. We've made it. New Hampshire. We're here. Alright, so we've made it to Concord, New Hampshire. I'm here in downtown Concord, and I went to what I was recommended, which is Puppy Love Hot Dogs, and if you can see, it's a hot dog stand coming out of a truck. And let's try these things. I heard they're good. Tastes like their Wiener Schnitzel. Delicious. And here I am in Concord, New Hampshire at Pierce Manse, which is the home of the 14th President of the United States. Kind of a lame duck president, didn't really do too much. Attempted to purchase Cuba from Spain, failed at that. Was personally in favor of the abolition of slavery, but unfortunately he had an uncanny ability to not act. And so he viewed that if he did abolish slavery, the Union would fall apart altogether. He went in loved by many, and he left reviled by all. He couldn't even get the renomination of his own party for a second term. Alcoholism really took over his life. His wife died, all of his children died in horrific accidents or from certain reasons for the time. And he lived a sad life, and unfortunately he is a forgotten president, and his legacy will sadly only be viewed as a sad life or as just a outspoken vocal critic of President Abraham Lincoln. This, Pierce Manse in Concord, New Hampshire. Alright, well, still here in Concord, and you may be wondering why I sound so strange saying curd. It's because it doesn't sound natural to me. Concord is how I would generally pronounce it. However, in these parts, you say Concord because the British pronounced it Concord. And, well, we kicked them out of here. So that's why you say Concord instead of Concord. So let's talk about New Hampshire politics, and that is the New Hampshire primary, which happens every 4 years. And every 4 years, this state gets flooded with whatever presidential candidate is going for the nomination. You'll meet people like John Edwards, John Kerry, that seems about outdated. You'll meet people like Rick Santorum, you'll meet people like Michelle Bachmann, and even Queen Hillary will be gracing all of us here with her presence soon. We're not here right now because the primary is not going to be till January. They, for some reason, I'm not too sure if it's something in the electoral rules, but New Hampshire is allowed to have the first primary of all the states, and they only follow Iowa and their caucus. And the reason why is because, and why it's such a big deal, is because they want to try and get that, that head start out of the race and try and get as many electoral votes as possible to get the nomination. Yeah, it's primaries. Every January, every 4 years. January. Get in! We're going to Boston!